Hey guys, this week we are talking about a story. Also, welcome to Convention Story Times. I forgot to say that. Welcome to Convention Story Times. This week we're talking about a story where it kind of connects to conventions, and it's something that people have actually asked me to talk about a lot, which is rude staff. And I didn't just want to make a rant. This is going to probably turn into a rant, but I didn't just want to make a rant type video where I'm just talking about rude staff. I wanted to actually have something to base it on, and so I'm making a story time out of this because I do have a story to tell about rude staff. Basically, I've seen a lot of rude staff. In my time going to conventions, not every staff is rude. There's lots of staff that are really great, and there's some cons that don't have anyone on the team at all that I see that is rude in any way, shape, or form, and it's great. But that does not always work out. A lot of times, it's not like that. So today we're talking about IKASU-Con and Matsuri-Con 2014. We went to these conventions pretty much back to back, and we dealt with the same staff member at both of them. Let's get started. So, at IKASU-Con, the staff has been pretty okay the whole time. We hadn't really seen a lot of them. It was a small con. They didn't really need that many staff to control it. But then we get in line for the masquerade or the cosplay contest. We're a bit further back in line than what we would like to be, but hey, it happens. So there's a staff member guy running around, and he's like the one in charge of the line. He's in control of it. He's trying to make sure the line stays orderly, because cosplay contests and masquerade lines can get crazy long. So he's trying to make sure it stays orderly and stays in control. But he's extremely rude. He keeps going down this hallway and saying, "Hey, against the wall, you have to be against the wall." And just being a jerk. And the thing that was really annoying about this was that this hallway was really big. It was not even like it was a small hallway. There was no reason every person had to be right up against the wall. And when I say he was telling him to be against the wall, I don't mean there were people kind of leaving the line and going out into the middle of the hallway and just talking and then pretending they were still in line. Literally, if your back was not touching the wall, even if you were just standing a centimeter further, he would be like, "You need to get on the wall or you're gonna get kicked out of the line. You need to get on the wall, sir." I got yelled at 3 times because I got tired of leaning on the wall, and I just leaned forward for a couple minutes, and he'd come by and be like, "I'm gonna need you to get on the wall." It was so annoying. So he did some other stuff too, but I don't remember what all he did. He was just being rude. Then later at IKASU-Con, Drew comes down for the rave. This is Saturday, same day. This is pretty much the next thing we did was the rave. We'd been raving. We went upstairs. Drew took a break. I came back to the rave. Drew comes down. I actually have to hear this from him later because I wasn't with him. He tries to go into the rave. He had forgotten his badge, which happens to people from time to time. So obviously they're not going to let him in the rave. But from what he tells me, this is the same exact guy that was yelling at us about being on the wall. And this dude's like, what happens is Drew doesn't have his key card to go back up to the room. He forgot that as well. I'm in the rave with my key card. So he needs to get in to get to me, or he can't get back to the room because there's nobody else in the room. He'd pretty much just be stuck. He can't get his badge. He can't do anything. So he's like, "Well, hey, my friend is in there with the key card. I don't have our key card, and so I can't go to the room." And the guy's like, "Well, that's not my problem. Too bad. There's nothing I can do about that. Too bad." He's like, "I can't just go in and grab it really quick." And he's like, "Nope, I don't have time for that," because if he were to do that, he would have to walk him in there to make sure that he finds me and actually comes back out instead of just staying in the rave. He's like, "Nope, I can't do that." Also, I just want to point out, and I know why they do this, they have to do it, but this is the same guy that had let Drew in and out 5 different times already. He had to have known that he's there for the con. He's got a badge. But anyway, whatever. So he's like, he says, "I don't have time for this. I'm not doing this. I have no time for you. No, I cannot do that." He acts like what he's doing is such a big deal. And there's 5 other staff members there. And none of them can take his spot to check badges for a minute. So eventually he grabs one of them and he's like, "Just take this guy in there." Drew talks to him long enough that he convinces him to let another staff member go in with him and find me. But that dude was not having it. His job is too important. He could not step away. So Drew finds me, we go up and get his badge, and he tells me about this story. And that's the end of dealing with this guy at IKASU-Con. Then we go to Matsuri-Con. Oh my god. We're in line for the masquerade, or cosplay contest, at a different convention, and this guy is the dude in charge of the line again. It's like, how many cons are you staffing? And why do people keep bringing you in here? You're a douche. Anyway, so the same thing happens. He's yelling at people, you can't be off the wall, blah, 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 blah. And everybody in the line is getting upset with this dude that they won't let him off the wall. And this is different. You gotta understand where the line was going from MatsuriCon. It's not, the hallway wasn't necessarily wide. It wasn't super tiny, but there was nothing down there. That hallway connected to nothing. It dead ended. And there were no panel rooms down there. It was all just an area for people together who were going to go in the main events. But yet, still, he made you stay right on the wall so that there was a path there. Even though nobody was going down that path other than him to look at you and make sure you were on the wall. Then, this is different than at Ikatsukan, he makes everybody stand up and scoot in until they're like on top of each other. Which I understand they're trying to move the line in. But this one girl's like, hey, my friend, he just left to go to the bathroom, and he did. It was a big guy. He'd been there for a long time. He was pretty far up in line. We were like second in line. So, I mean, he had to be pretty close up for us to have seen this. She's like, hey, my friend just went to the bathroom. He's coming right back. He's not going to have room to get back in line if you're pushing us together, and you won't let us stay off the wall. And, of course, the guy's like, well, that's too bad. Guess your friend's not getting back in line. Guess they're gonna miss the cosplay contest. Shouldn't have had to pee. That's a bunch of bull. You cannot tell somebody, because I don't know if you've ever been in line for a cosplay contest, but especially if you're near the front, you're in line for like at least an hour, hour and a half, sometimes more than that. And if you can't be, and cosplay contests normally run around 2 hours, possibly more. If you can't be expected, or if you're expected to sit there and not have to use the restroom at all in that entire time, that's ridiculous. So they say your friend can't get back in line. Immediately after that guy walks away, everyone's like, hey, don't worry, we'll bunch up together. Like, we're already really pushed on each other, but we'll find a way to make it work. We'll let your friend back in line. Screw that guy. Nobody likes this guy. Nobody. And so the friend comes back and we bunch up and we let him back in line. And I hear him telling them what happened, and he's like, and I immediately was like, if this guy comes and says something to him that he's not supposed to be back in line there, I'm going to immediately be like, dude, you need to calm down. Let's get some real staff up in here and tell them what's going on, and we'll see if they don't take your badge away, first of all. So then he finally leaves, but he tells this other girl, hey, make sure you keep him on the wall. Make sure you're hard with him. Do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, maybe this girl will be nicer. She looked nice. Nope, she was just as bad. She's doing all the same things. She might have been worse, because then when we go in the cosplay contest, she's sitting there telling everybody where they have to sit. And I talked about this a little bit in my MatsuriCon review. She's telling everybody exactly where they have to sit in the contest. And it was just so stupid. Like, we waited in the front of the line and not even be able to pick our own seats. And we got split up from our friends because they wouldn't let us sit together. There was a completely open row, one row behind where she wanted us to sit, and she would not let us sit there. And I got crappy with her. I was like, well, why can't we? I started to argue with her, and she acted like she was ready to kick me out of the room. She was not going to let me see the cosplay contest because I wanted to sit one row back so that I could sit with my friends. It wouldn't have mattered if you would have just let us come in and figure it out ourselves. No other cosplay contest have I seen them do that. That was really dumb. And the staff members were just rude. That whole convention, the staff was rude. I've talked about that before too, and I don't know how that even happened, because the year before, the staff was awesome. So I've been rambling on and on about this, but yeah, I've got a problem with really power-hungry staff, and people that think that they can just do whatever they want just because they have a staff badge. And it's annoying. And security, like at RamenCon, they had their staff, and then they had their whole, like, other security section. And if you watch my review on RamenCon, you know how much I hated on them. They were terrible. Like, why? They act like they've got so much power. And you don't. You're just a security person. You're there to try and keep the con going right. Make sure nothing goes wrong. Make sure no one's doing anything really stupid. But if nobody's doing something dumb, why do you gotta be a jerk to everybody? The people who are doing things right, why do you have to be a jerk to them? I just wish more staff members would get it, and a lot of them just don't. They're really power hungry, and they're really rude, and it doesn't always happen, but when it does, It's just annoying, and it can ruin somebody's con. I know a lot of people said that the staff at MatsuriCon ruined their con experience, which makes me sad because last year I recommended MatsuriCon to people. And I still think it's a good convention, but it just makes me sad that they would do that. I don't know. So let me know in the comments, I want to know stories. Tell me stories of what's happened to you with rude staff. Don't just be like, yeah, I agree, staff sucks. Tell me some stories. What happened to you? It doesn't have to be super crazy and whatever, connecting conventions together like mine did, but just tell me about something that happened to you with rude staff. I'd love to collect it all here and just see really how bad it gets. I want to hear about it. Thanks for listening to this. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, you can click on the video on the screen to jump over to my vlog channel, where I vlog my day-to-day life for your entertainment. If that's not enough for you, go to the description below to find links to my Twitch, where I stream video games almost daily, my Facebook, Instagram, email, Twitter, Tumblr, and the Convention Reviews website.